Hi, I'm Merle. This is a story of my family told through 16mm movies that my dad took from 1938 to 1954. For years we thought the film was lost, but thanks to my nephew Blake, the footage was found in the summer of 2008. Let me begin with a picture taken of my family in 1942. Harold, or Bunsey as we call him, must have taken the photo because he is not in it. In this photo we see my grandparents' name mark, Mom and Dad, Marilyn, Jerry, and me. Next, Bunsey joins us. My grandparents' singer we'll find in a moment, celebrating Seder in their home. 10 years later, we pose for a photo of all 7 of us. The last picture, taken of my brothers and sisters, was at the dedication of the Brenda and Samuel Singer Rehearsal Hall in the Music Center of the University of Minnesota in Duluth. Mom and Dad wanted to endow UMD, as they said, "We made our money in Duluth and we feel an obligation to give back to our community." Today there are only 3 of us left. Dad died in 1979 at the age of 79. Mom in 2000, she reached the age of 94. But the truth be told, she was born in '05. And not '06 as she claimed. Hey, you do the math. Jerry left us in 2005. He was 78. And Marilyn also died in 2005. She was 71. This movie is dedicated in their memories. In this film we will see Uncle Izzy, Dad's brother, and his business partner in L. Singer & Sons. Dad and Mom founded the wholesale men's and ladies' garment business. Uncle Izzy joined early on. And out of respect for their father, Louis, who worked with them, they named the business L. Singer & Sons, speaking in the name of their father first. Speaking of my father's store, you might catch a glimpse of one of the salesmen. I knew him as Mr. Bruson, who used to say, "I tell you peoples, it's no use talking, or there are better people than you that I don't sell to." For my dad's family, there is his sister, Aunt Lael. Aunt Lael Miller, her husband, and 2 sons, George and Danny. I took piano lessons from Aunt Lael. We also see Dad's sister, Charlotte Locketts, and her husband and daughter, Carol Rhoda. Carol Rhoda died in her 20s from Hodgkin's disease. As a young rabbi, I shall never forget the day I visited her at Walter Reed Hospital, where she was critically ill. She looked at me and said, "Merle, I'm afraid to die." I couldn't answer her. I hurried off to my mentor, Rabbi Gene Lippman. I got an answer. When I returned to see Carol Rhoda, the cousin that I had the funnest times with in my childhood, she was gone. As the wife of an Army top master sergeant, Carol Rhoda was buried in Arlington National Cemetery with full military honors. In the days of the film, most Jewish families had at least one member in their family of the Communist Party. In our family, it was Uncle Chaim. You will recognize Uncle Chaim by his cane, which he waved for attention as he spoke his manifesto. In case you don't recognize Uncle Chaim, I've given him special music for his appearances. Mom's brother Lenny is seen here with his brother Sherm and my brothers. Then there is Mom's sister Harriet and her sister Pearl. We see Pearl as a bride with her husband Sammy. Sammy was a Golden Gloves boxer. Grandpa Neymark didn't like Sammy, so Pearl eloped and their wedding was formally at 1723. Also married at 1723 was Mom's brother Sherm, or as we called him, Uncle Buddy, and his wife Jo. Sherman graduated from the Naval Academy, and on his way to his assignment aboard the aircraft carrier Saratoga was their wedding ceremony. The family's pride in Sherm shows through the footage of this film. I was born in 1939 in the safe and secure surroundings of Duluth, Minnesota. As you can tell from these pictures, early years of my life were fun-filled, enjoyed with my sister Marilyn. The picture of Marilyn swimming at Lake Superior was only the beginning of my sister's disinterest in clothes. After the war in 1947, Sharon came along and she became my playmate. Growing up during World War II holds little memory of the war. My Uncle Sherm was in the Navy, and Uncle Sammy in the Army. Both fought in the Pacific. Dad put on the uniform of the Coast Guard and did what he could do to guard the shipping port of Duluth. Brother Jerry was drafted and served in the occupational forces in Japan after the war was won. Bunsey served in Germany during the Korean conflict. Fortunately, all safely returned from service. The only memory I have of the war was buying war bonds. Of the horrors of the Holocaust, I knew nothing other than the pictures and stories I found in the Black Book, which my parents had in our library. I had to secretly look at the book as Mom and Dad said I shouldn't read it.
Fabriken werden gegründet, ehrliches deutsches Volk und unser liebes deutsches Reich.
I don't remember conversations about relatives in Europe we lost in the Holocaust. As far as my growing up at home and my early Jewish education, the Holocaust happened to someone else, someplace else in the world, unlike anything I knew or had anything to do with. I knew of anti-Semitism, but of the horrors of the Holocaust, I was safe. I grew up about as far away from the Holocaust in Europe as one could possibly get. 1723 is the title of this movie. 1723 East 2nd Street, Duluth, Minnesota is the address of the house my parents bought in 1938. The house was built in the early 1900s by a lumber tycoon who built the 20-room house as a statement of power and prestige, complete with 3 entrances. One was for the servants. And then there were the 2 stairwells, 2 beautiful staircases, and a dumbwaiter and pearl-button buzzers in each room that rang in the kitchen for summoning the help. When I grew up, such luxuries were from a bygone era. The maid's quarters became a sewing room, and the place my brothers made model airplanes. The apartment on the 3rd floor became just that. The maid's call button under the carpet in the dining room became something Marilyn and I would play with to annoy our parents. And the wine cold room in the basement became the place where Dad would make his homemade root beer and raspberry wine. Throughout the years, the house held its grandeur with its 4 working fireplaces, the entrance hall that ran the entire width of the house, the centerpiece of which was a stately staircase that flowed down over one end of the room. You'll see the staircase in the wedding scenes of the movie. And when Mom and Dad weren't around, Marilyn and I loved to slide down the long banister from the formal landing between the 1st and 2nd floors to where it ended in its swirling curlicue. And there was the oak-paneled library with leaded glass enclosed shelves. From wainscoting to crystal doorknobs, no detail was ever overlooked in the building and creation of 1723. Even the plaque above the doorbell at the front door spoke its message that all deliveries are to be made in the rear of the house. Supposedly, Mom and Dad's purchase of the house was the talk of the town. The buzz on the street was, the Singers will never be able to afford keeping up the house they just bought. Mom and Dad were just waiting to prove them wrong, just as Mom would spend a lifetime proving the world wrong without her able and capable help. So it would be that 1723 would become a storehouse of lifelong memories. And even more than that, the 3-storied stucco house became a symbol of social status and communal acceptance, real and imagined, for my entire family. Today, 1723 stands as a storehouse of memories for a different generation. The Grand Lady has become an apartment house. In the spring of 2008, Sharon and I paid a visit to 1723. A bit of our trip down memory lane we share with you here. Yes, you can go home again, but it's never quite the same. Let us now watch the scenes of life in the 1930s, 40s, 50s as they appear before your eyes. Scenes that form our precious memories. Our memories shape us. Our memories define us. Take those memories away, hide from your memories, and you are not you anymore. Now, if you agree with me that memories are the most precious things we possess, and that loss of memory would be the most destructive thing that could happen to us, I leave you with one question. What sort of memories are we blessing our children with? Someday when they reach our age, what movies of their family will they show to their children? I hope you will enjoy, as I have, reliving the scenes that inform the memories of our family life, reconnecting you once again with the places and family you treasure. Though time, space, and years have intervened, through the magic of film, we once again find ourselves in the presence of those we love. They are once again a precious part of us. And for our children and spouse, who come after